Well, it's noon here in Bethesda, Maryland, and this is news that you can use from YAA for Thursday, May 26th. How are you today, Hanson?
I'm doing pretty good. Evidently, my green. I just got to learn. Pops, today we are going to be talking about.
You would have thought of after yesterday.
Yeah, I would have learned.
Yeah.
Today we're going to talk about that.
Yes.
Are automakers getting further and further away from their dealer partners? Well, Volkswagen dealers seem to think so. That's going to be our lead story for today, Pops.
Yeah.
If you make your way
Yeah.
to the Automotive News website, there is a lead story.
Yes.
This one, actually.
Yes.
VW shopping for U.S. sites for new plant to build Scout vehicles is also another lead story, but we're going to hop on to this one.
Yes.
U.S. dealer groups want answers from Volkswagen on, quote, alarming and puzzling Scout announcement.
Yeah.
Letters being sent from to Volkswagen from NADA and state associations seek answers to how the German automaker plans to retail its upcoming Scout vehicle. So just last week,
Yes.
VW's CEO announced that the Scout lineup was going to be coming. This is going to be an all-electric vehicle lineup. And Pops,
this is going to be a reincarnation of the International Harvester Scouts. You don't even know that International Harvester was in the truck business, in the automotive truck business in the United States.
Literally, I have no clue what you're talking about.
Thank you.
I do, however, know,
Yes.
Dad,
Yes.
that the Scout is starting to look a lot like Ford Model E. The way
Yes.
that VW has set up this business. Where is
Yes.
it? Where is it? Where is it? Boom. In announcing the creation of the Scout brand on May 11th, Herbert Diess, the CEO of VW Group, said the automaker's plan was to build a, quote, separate independent company to operate the brand.
That's got to make the Volkswagen dealers feel warm and fuzzy.
We've talked about it a bit on this show in the past. The
Yes.
way that automakers preserve and the way that dealers, preserve their ability to exist is because
Yes.
of franchise dealer laws.
Yes.
And most of those franchise dealer laws say, hey, if we have an existing dealership or an existing automaker selling through dealerships in this state, then you can't sell direct to consumer. What's one way to possibly get around that?
Open a separate and different business.
That's what Ford did, and that's what VW.
Well, that's what Ford's talking about doing. That's what they say they're going to be doing. But
that's what the plan for Model E is. Yes.
But also with what Ford has said, there's still going to be dealerships involved in the sense that they'll be more like delivery centers than traditional dealerships as we know them.
Yes. We'll see what that actually turns into, because right now Ford EVs, like the Lightning Pro, for example, or the Lightning, you can't find one that's not marked up. Mach-E's marked up.
Yes.
And so I think what you're seeing here, and let's actually pull up the letters.
Okay.
So letters were sent by two organizations to VW that got publication here: the North Carolina Automobile Dealers Association and NADA.
Yes.
Let's just read these. Let's see what they're concerned about.
Yes.
Dear Scott. That's the president.
Should we one day take a camera and go live to VW's offices down in Herndon, Virginia? It's not that far.
We could.
Yeah.
So Scott Coe is the president. Kehoe
Yeah.
is the president of VW Group of America. Dear Scott, we have been closely following the recent announcement from Volkswagen that the Scout brand will be returning to the U.S. market in the coming years. While these are early days, we encourage you to quickly and clearly communicate Scout's distribution plan to your dealers who have made significant investments to support VW's business model and transformation to electrification.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, we appreciate that you have been a consistent and full-throated advocate. Full-throated.
Yes. Full-throated.
That's an interesting.
Until now.
Full-throated
Yes.
advocate for the franchise dealer retail model. We firmly believe this model has served Volkswagen well through good times and bad, and is poised to take the brand into the future. As you well understand, the longer your dealers go without information and answers to their questions, the more speculation will fill the void.
Mm-hmm.
As plans begin to firm up for the launch of the Scout brand, we would appreciate you sharing what you can with us. We could also assist you getting this information out to many state association executives who are currently getting questions from your dealers. Lastly, seeing that we are neighbors, I'd like to invite you to our offices in Tyson when it's convenient for you to discuss the Scout plans,
Yes.
as well as other important industry issues. This
Yes.
comes from the president of the National Automobile Dealers Association, Michael Stanton.
Yes.
What does this say to you, Pops, when you read a letter like that? And then we're going to look at the one from the state association.
Well,
in
what
North
it
Carolina.
says to me is, okay, we realize you're about to stick it to your dealer body, and go off in a completely different direction and try and set up some type of manufacturer to consumer direct sales. And those of us who have supported Volkswagen and Volkswagen Group through your dealer network, being Volkswagen, being Porsche, being what is it? It's either Rolls Royce or Bentley. One of them is Lamborghini,
Audi.
That we don't think it's quite fair that A, you keep us in the dark, and B, that more than likely you're going to try and go consumer direct, especially with the billions upon billions of dollars that we've invested. So we want to know now so that we can make the necessary plans, to try and stop you. That's what it says to me. What's it say to you?
I think full-throated
Yes.
was a very intentional word choice.
Mm-hmm.
You want to give us your full-throated support?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to come for your throat if you don't perpetuate this system that we have set up.
Yes.
And we've talked about it on the show in the past when the Ford Model E news came out. We even
Yes.
talked about it yesterday because Mercedes-Benz is going direct to consumer in Europe and cutting back some of their dealership operations. This is going to happen more and more often, and we're going to have to see who stands firm. And I mean that from the OEM side.
Yes.
Now, we also, to play devil's advocate here, look at what Tesla does. You fully vertically integrate everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's a cheaper or better experience for the consumer, but we're about to witness, I think, one of the bigger industry battles that we've seen in a long, long time.
Yes.
Auto dealers versus automakers.
Yes.
All the while, they're still going to be selling cars through the dealers. It's going to be a weird, sloppy, messy transition if Volkswagen tries to do it here with Scout.
This will crystallize what I've always said, which is that the manufacturer is not the dealership's partner.
No, they are actually adversaries.
Yes, and they have spent their entire working relationships trying to convince the dealers that, this is a partnership. It's not a partnership. When things are slow, and if we go into a recession, things will get slow again. When things are slow and the manufacturers beg the dealers to take more inventory, force dealers to take more inventory, push more inventory on the dealers, and the dealers can't sell it fast enough or at a higher enough profit level to become profitable for the year. As I used to remind my general manager at the Acura store, at the end of the year, if our books are bleeding red, Acura is not cutting us a check to make us whole. Okay, it's not it's not a partnership. Okay, and so this will just crystallize that. This will just exacerbate what's always been there, the underlying anger that dealers feel towards manufacturers.
Let's read the letter that comes from the North Carolina Automobile Dealers Association, because this one's got a little more anger.
Okay.
And it's a little long, but I think it's a worthy read. Okay, ready? This is to Mr. Kehoe as well. He's busy with all the letters.
He's the head of Volkswagen in America.
On behalf of North Carolina's Volkswagen dealers, I am writing, and this again comes from the president of, it says at the bottom, this comes from Robert Glaser, who's the North Carolina Automobile Dealers Association president.
Yes.
He says here, I am writing to express our collective surprise and disappointment with the recent announcements from Volkswagen regarding the plan to market the Scout electric off-road SUV and the electric pickup truck outside of VW's existing dealer network. Rechanneling EVs away from the current dealer network. Specifically, in light of VW's announcements regarding the separate distribution channel for those upcoming electric vehicles, dealers are very concerned that such plans are intended by VW as an initial foray into a larger effort to create separate dealer networks for EVs and ICE vehicles. Such a plan would have a significant negative impact on the franchise value of current VW dealers. Despite repeated assurances throughout the years by Volkswagen that its dealers are, quote, partners in advancing and promoting VW products, this announcement produced instant dismay and concern among all VW dealers. Certainly, given the strong history of a supportive and effective VW dealer network, even during the Dieselgate fiasco, great that they bring that up. Great, even during the Dieselgate fiasco, The clear expectation would be that current VW dealers would be given the first opportunity to enlist as a scout dealer. However, the widespread belief is that the underlying reason VW is planning to create a parallel dealer network is VW's intention to reduce the VW dealer count. Additionally, while the current announcement indicates that Scout will compete in the SUV/pickup market, such a move produces uncertainty as to the makes and models that Scout will sell as compared to VW or Audi. This is very alarming and puzzling to the current dealer network. For years, VW dealers have been clamoring for VW to include a pickup truck in its product line so they could compete in this very popular and important market segment. And what VW has instead announced is its intention to produce and market the Scout pickup outside of the current VW dealer network. I'm going to continue because this is fascinating. Dealers with decades of pride and enthusiasm as a VW dealer who have supported the VW brand with large financial commitments over the years are left only to contemplate the diminished value of their dealerships. Dealers with newly upgraded facilities must now question the prudence of their investment. Dealers with long-time dealership employees are left speechless when approached by their staff with inquiries about the future. In the end, we are exceptionally hopeful that the VW Group of America does not intend to create a parallel distribution system that results in direct competition among its network of dealers. They're like painting the picture for what's exactly going to happen. Understanding that the industry is going through unprecedented changes as a result of the continued efforts towards an EV transformation, North Carolina's Volkswagen dealers have taken unparalleled steps to be, quote, all in for EVs in support of VW's plans for advancing technology. From the creation of a dealer-driven statewide advisory committee for EVs to a PR campaign promoting the availability of EVs from legacy dealers to the millions of dollars spent by VW dealers to equip their dealerships and train their employees to sell and service EVs, the current network of VW dealers is poised to play an absolutely crucial role in the global adoption and distribution of mass market EVs across the Tar Heel state and across the great nation. Now, personally, I'd put a few, that's a long sentence.
Yeah.
Just FYI, I would put some periods in there. Opposition to direct sales by OEMs.
Oh.
As our industry plans for the future of EVs, VW dealers adamantly believe that the legacy manufacturers and distributors have the broadest, best trained, most committed, and most reliable network of partners in place today. This factory/dealer partnership based on a 100-year tradition is the winning combination, the competitive advantage for both stakeholders and the future of EVs. As such, today's VW dealers are as acutely concerned about the possibility that VW may attempt to introduce a new factory direct distribution channel to consumers in tandem with its distribution of vehicles through the VW dealer network. Again, based on a century of consumer-centric, God, get the hell out of here. Based on a century of consumer-centric retail experiences, dealers firmly believe, you get the point.
Yeah, dealer-centric. They meant, let me correct that sentence, dealer-centric, but go ahead.
And we got to read, because here comes the full-throated comment from this letter. Well compensated and specially trained dealers in the most effective business model through which vehicle manufacturers and distributors can maximize both units sold and market share. Frankly, the NCADA will use every legitimate resource available to enforce its existing franchise laws that prohibit VW and all other factories and distributors from selling vehicles.
Distributors.
What did I say?
Distributors.
Yes. From selling vehicles in North Carolina in competition with their franchise dealer. In summary, NCADA will continue to work with our dealer members and the Volkswagen Group to produce a win-win-win relationship for the VW customer, the dealership, and Volkswagen. Elusive triple win. Hard to always count on those. Additionally, should our suspicions be confirmed and our concerns continue, NCADA will work with NADA and other state dealer associations, and certainly our state regulators to ensure that the vast protections of our state's franchise laws are enforced in order to protect North Carolina's consumers and dealers. This may be one of the most interesting shows we've ever done when you read that letter, and that is the voice of the dealer body saying, oh crap. Oh crap.
Let me ask you a question. If you're a VW dealer and your factory rep comes to you and says, we really need to upgrade the facility. We have new guidelines for how the facilities have to look. And you need to make a multi-million-dollar investment in upgrading your facility. I don't know what the first words out of most dealers' mouths would be, but I know what would come out of my mouth.
Get out of here.
I did that to my Spalding rep when I had the golf store once, and I would do it to a factory rep, and I would throw them the hell out of the dealership and say that takes an awful lot of nerve when ultimately, after I make that investment, the value of my dealership is going to plummet like a rock falling off a cliff.
But Pops, hear me out here. Although there are concerns about when you go direct to consumer, and again, I don't think Tesla is the perfect example for what that experience should be. I think you're getting closer and closer to the dealer as a sales channel partner being obsolete. They add fees, they add headache. It is not consumer centric. The dealership serves what purpose?
The dealer.
Exactly, to make the dealership as much money as possible. We do this show. People are pissed off. You don't have to look that far. It's over in Tyson's or wherever the VW. They talk about it. They know.
Herndon.
They know consumers hate most of their dealers. They love their dealers for the service. They want to make sure that they have their car taken care of. They hate buying cars. Car salesman is the only profession that ranks equal or below congressperson on the Gallup annual trustworthiness of profession. The reason we have a career right now is because people hate buying cars.
Yes.
And you read in these letters, and it almost feels a little mafia-y. We're gonna flex our muscle. We talk about on the show all the time how corrupt aspects of our government are. I'm not naming names or anything like that, but like it is corrupt. People buy things off all the time. Okay. These state laws are going to be, we see laws in the state of West Virginia that are so anti-progressive. No over-the-air updates in West Virginia.
Yes.
Reinforcing and reaffirming the dealer network in West Virginia. It's going to happen in North Carolina. It's going to wherever these dealers have as much weight as they can, they are going to dig their heels in. And you know what, Dad? Those businessmen and women, the men and women who own dealerships, you know what? If they put $10 million into making their dealership better, that's like putting $10 million into the stock market. You can choose where you invest that money. And you know what? Some investments go up and some investments go down. And if you want to just try and stick with the antiquated ways that things work, you might lose your money because there might be a new way of doing things. And VW is telling their dealer group, we're doing things differently.
VW's not telling them anything.
And that's everything. That's everything. Telling them nothing is everything. Because it'd be really easy to come out and say, we're going to do this through our dealers. They're not saying that. That's everything. Ford's already doing it with the Model E, Dad. They're doing it with the Model E. We'll see if they actually do anything, but they're saying so much with so little. And people are going to lose a lot of money. Dealer groups are going to lose a lot of money because they thought, hey, this thing's just going to keep working because we bought out all the local politicians. We're good. No, you're not. That's my 2 cents.
Well, I'm glad you think that.
Those memos mean a lot.
I'm betting, and I'm not saying it's right, but I'm betting that they have enough political sway, through state organization, national organizations. They have enough money for lobbying that they can buy enough politicians to be able to protect their interests. There might be a state or two where VW might be able to do it, but it ain't going to be in the vast majority of the states. Dealerships have invested too much money. Dealers have invested too much money over time to allow this to happen. I'm not saying it shouldn't happen.
No, I hear what you're
saying.
I'm
not saying that there shouldn't be a better way for people to be able to buy cars and trucks, but I'm saying that the franchise way of doing things is so entrenched.
I agree.
That if this giant change were to happen, it ain't happening quickly.
Yeah.
There's state courts, and then there's state appellate courts, and then there's state supreme courts, and then there's federal courts. And litigation could take decades. It's not going to, and I just, dealers have too much invested in too much money and own too many politicians for it to happen. Okay.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
Just me.
And I love our audience.
Yes.
Igor is clapping you up. We've got Maria here saying Ray is right. We've got some comments that say I'm so wrong. This is the beauty of this show.
Yes.
We have very different perspectives here.
Well,
Mine's a bit more wishful, and I recognize things take a long time, but I think the silence is pretty deafening, Dad. The fact that VW is not coming out and saying, no, we are doing this with you. I think the next couple of weeks, honestly, the headlines on automotive news about this story they'll be very material as to what's going to happen over the next decade. We're starting to see change, more change than ever before. That letter was a damning a description of what could happen.
Here's what I think. I think that the onset of the recession, or the declaration that we are in a recession, will change everything about what we think is going to happen. With EVs and in the automobile industry.
I think you're very much onto something there.
Okay. When money was really, really cheap and everybody was flush with money, it was easy for all these manufacturers to say, we're going to commit about $500 billion to EVs. If we go into a recession,
we're there.
Okay, and interest rates on money keep going up, and fear starts to overtake the buying public, that's all going to dry up. All those plans, we're going to be at 80% EV sales by 2030. Well, good, by 2030 when they're still at like 15%, because we went through a recession and there wasn't the money to do it, and it didn't make economic sense to move forward with it. All this will have just been an opportunity for us to chat on a daily basis about what's going to happen in the automobile business.
Yeah, I think what you just said is probably the most spot on, and I can get very much so behind that. When the crap starts at the fan, everything's going to slow down. Everything's going to be, all right, stop investing. We just got to have cash on hand. How do we make it work? Like, no one's going to be doing anything.
Besides the fact that, for all the plans that all these manufacturers have, well, there's not enough battery manufacturing capability out there to even support half of what these manufacturers say they're going to be producing. All the numbers that we read about, it's all pie in the sky. Yeah. It's all BS. We can make the numbers say whatever we want them to say. We're going to grow this fast.
Yeah.
No. I've lived through it.
No, I 100% agree with you. Here we go. Interesting comment here from Emily. I think Ray is right and things will change slowly, if at all. Personally, I wish Zach was right that dealerships would go away entirely and the right to repair made independent repair feasible. And it's a shame because I think you can make a really strong case for why if you went in that direction, it would be more consumer-centric than the current models. But you're so right with looming economic recession. People aren't going to want to do things that are particularly, risky or challenging, plus how entrenched it already is. It's going to take a long time for it to change. There are some examples, though, of when it does change, what it looks like. Tesla came on the scene and has done a great job.
I'm just telling you.
They've done a job.
When you look at AutoNation, Lithia, Asbury, Penske, Group 1, Sonic, and you look at the billions upon billions of dollars that they have invested to gobble up dealerships, to consolidate dealerships throughout the country. These people have a pretty good idea as to what the future is going to be in the automobile industry.
I don't agree with that. Dad, they're people just like you and me. They might have some better information and intel and everything, but they're making bets. No one has 100%. We talk about all the time that our crystal ball is notoriously fuzzy. You know what? Theirs is too. They're making bets, informed bets.
Better informed than us. They have more information than we have.
Of course.
Okay, and if they thought for a second that things were going to change dramatically about how dealerships operate, how manufacturers operate with a dealer body, anytime soon, and what I mean by anytime soon, over the next 10 to 15 years, if they thought that change was coming within the next 10 or 15 years, they'd be selling these stores, not buying these stores.
No, you're wrong. They'd be buying the stores, get the stock price to go up. They'd be selling their stock. No, listen, hear me out here. Hear me out here. Executives of these big companies. I don't know. Let's use Carvana, for example.
Yeah.
What did the Garcias do? They got the valuation of Carvana through the roof. And what did they do? They sold a ton of stock.
Yeah.
And now the value of the company is way down.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that was intentional per se, but it seems very serendipitous. If you're an executive at one of these big companies, you're thinking about yourself. We're all thinking about ourselves. We're all thinking, what's the best for me and my family? I don't know, man. I know you make good points, but I think there are other examples that can be counter arguments. Who's going to be right here is curious to me. Intelligent Car Buying says, agreed, Ray, but EVs are a way OEMs can separate and dodge legacy franchise laws. It will long be contested, but can happen. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, but it could happen. When?
Yeah.
15 years, 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, there's billions upon billions of dollars that everybody's willing to wager on this. And what I mean by wager is to spend on lawyers to fight for either side. And that will take a very, very, very long time. And between the dealer bodies and the dealer groups and the manufacturer, everybody has deep pockets. The winners, the ultimate winners in all this,
lawyers.
Bingo, buddy.
Kids go to law school. Pops, can I show you the new stuff that we launched the other day? Super proud of the team. If you head to the YAA website, by the way.
And I do on a daily basis.
I do too.
Yes.
If you want to search for a car, what are we buying today, Pops?
How about a Mini Clubman?
Mini
Clubman, yeah.
Clubman, you say?
Yes, I do.
All right, so we launched a new feature when you're searching for vehicles.
Yes.
And you want to think about,
and you want to do it in a timely fashion. There we go.
Let's say you're interested in a vehicle. We've added what we're calling our parking lot. What is the parking lot per se?
Exactly. What is the parking lot?
It's going to help you get into your YAA account where we can walk you through your market price report. And then you can get paired up with folks like Mario, Space, and others on the team to help get coaching for the vehicles you're interested in purchasing. So, for example, let's say I'm maybe interested in buying this Mini Clubman. I'm going to add it to my parking lot.
Yes.
I'm going to go run my market price report.
Oh my God! And it takes you right to your
into my account.
Oh my!
Let's see. Nice thing about the market price report.
Yes.
You can see that price history. See how long it's been on the market right there compared to the local average. Yes. And of course, Pops, your recommendation for what you could or should do. Yeah. Now, one of the things I'm super interested in here. Yes. So this is a Cooper S wagon. I'm going to grab that VIN.
Yes.
We've got 33,762
miles.
Call it
34,000.
And it's a used vehicle that we've got an estimated out the door price of around 26.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to go to value my trade-in.
Yes.
Because I'm curious what Black Book says this is worth.
Yes.
And we were in what state?
Oklahoma.
We were in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Boom, boom, boom. And that was an S all for. Yeah, there we go. So Black Book says retail could be anywhere from 25. They did a good deal.
So this was a 26 and change. Plus
I know
fees.
Ray's recommendation was saying to wait, but I don't know. Maybe it's a good deal. Proud of the team. We finally got this connection all hooked up. So if you're not using YAA to search for cars, that's okay. Please do. See if you can break it. If you do break it, let us know.
Oh, absolutely. Because we need to give the team stuff to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and Aurora says, do you guys offer to help sell? 100%, Aurora. If you become a YAA member, you get paired up with a coach to help you sell your vehicle as well. So yes, we 100% do that. Encourage you to sign up and just send us a live chat.
And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is Memorial Day weekend coming up. And in honor of Memorial Day weekend, I believe we might be running a special?
Yes, use the code HONOR, 20% off if you sign up as a YAA member. Hey, which Mini dealership did you trade in your leased vehicle to? Sell your leased vehicle to?
Mini of Towson.
I'm curious. Have they listed it for sale yet?
I don't know.
Let's see. I'm curious. Saw that pop up in the chat. I'm curious. So it would be a certified.
They're planning on certifying it. I know that. My guess is that they haven't. They just traded it Saturday.
Wow. They have no certified pre-owned inventory right now.
Okay. Well, just look at their Mini pre-owned inventory. They have some of that.
How do they have 628 vehicles, Dad?
That's all of AutoNation.
All of AutoNation?
Yes.
That's annoying how they do
they're
that.
allowed to sell anything from any AutoNation store.
Oh, that is this not yours? 2020 Moonwalk Gray Metallic.
16,257.
That's your Mini.
That is my car.
That's your car.
with the indigo blue interior.
So they're listing it for $35,000.
$35,000.
What did they pay you for it?
$30,500.
All right, folks, there you go. There's an example of how much markup.
And they do have to recondition 3 wheels because, as we know, I successfully scuffed 3 of the 4, and I believe there was a small door dent in
When
the
did that
passenger
happen?
side, on the passenger front door. Somebody opened their car in the mine.
Gotta hate when that happens.
And literally, I custom ordered that vehicle. That vehicle was built specifically to the way that I wanted to order it. It was the first one in the area that was ever ordered with the Moonwalk Gray exterior and the indigo blue leather interior.
Interesting. I was just popping it in the Black Book trade to see what they were doing.
Yeah, what does it say?
It said, and it said that you, for trade-in, could get anywhere from 28,175 to 34,370. So you were right in that range.
Yes.
Private sale, retail. Interesting. Cool to look at.
Yes.
Yeah.
Based on other cars in the marketplace, just about everybody's selling theirs for around 35,000 or asking about 35,000.
Question about the extended warranty, if we can offer discounts. Not yet. We're launching the California extended warranty probably next week or in 2 weeks, and I think we'll do a promotion around that then. Because why not? I worked a freaking year so we could get the California extended warranty. So stay tuned on that for a discount on the California extended warranty. We still just make 500, so we won't be able to do too huge of a discount, but we'll do some. Let's call it a day, Pops.
Okay.
We are driving to New Jersey. So hopefully we have safe travels, nothing crazy there. And then we will be live from your condo
tomorrow,
where it all began.
Yes. Well, no, it actually all began at your house.
Yeah, well, I sold the house.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it too.
Yes. So we'll be back tomorrow. And when I go, it's noon. It'll be noon in Ventnor, New Jersey, ladies and gentlemen, from our subsidiary headquarters.
Yeah.
Secondary headquarters.
Where I'm sleeping on the couch tonight again.
Where Zach's sleeping on the couch. Anyway, we'll see you here again tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, with more news that you can use from YAA. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being here.
See you guys. Thanks, Pops.
Yep.